Hello, it is Wednesday, August 10th, 2022 at 6:34 p.m. Eastern Time. This is my video journal. I'm Mitch Miller, enjoying some Utica moonshine. And I am systematically challenging the United States military to a duel. So we'll continue with that. If you have achieved the rank of Lieutenant Colonel or its equivalent in any of the United States branches of the armed forces, I challenge you to a duel using non-lethal compressed air paintball dueling pistols. But since the military has not developed these prototypes, we must revert to the second form of dueling, the oldest sport known to man, wrestling. So I challenge you to a wrestling match using scholastic rules. And you can take me up on this match on September 17th. It's a Saturday. I've rented Ken Bryan's barn at French Creek Farms. There's mats in the loft. And we can settle this competitor to competitor. If you win the duel, you get to delay me challenging the next rank down in the military by 6 months, and you will get a piece of my art valued at millions of dollars. That's all I have to offer at this point. If you lose the duel, you must find funds in your budget to fund my non-lethal weapons company. If you cannot find funds in your budget, you must use your own personal income. In return, I will grant you a stock certificate in the company and or a piece of my art. So either way, you don't walk away empty-handed. It's a pretty fair challenge. If you do not accept this duel, you are a coward, and the blood and death of any military action around the globe is on your hands for not validating and justifying this form of modern warfare. So now that we've settled the pleasantries, I still have yet to receive any type of accepting of my challenge by any rank that I've gone through so far. Maybe by the time I get down to private, I definitely know some people who started as privates that will take me up on this duel, and I can challenge them face to face instead of doing it through this computer. And I will. Andrew Riddle, Ricky Hughes, if I ever saw him. We used to be wrestling partners, practice partners. Could challenge Gio Adesanya, Ryan Titus, Mike Hilton. Lots of people I can challenge face to face once I make it down to that rank. Not that I see Ryan Titus ever or have any contact with him, but who knows what he's doing now. So I'm still toiling away at the embroidery shop, cutting my hours way down to make room for other projects. Now that I've paid off my student loans, I don't need to work as intensely at the embroidery shop, so that's good, but I could be investigating your personal and fleet vehicles to see how hackable they are. It's a national security threat, and I'm fully qualified to investigate these vehicles. Even people at the Pentagon make a list of the most hackable vehicles, not just audio and video, but autonomous features of the vehicle. I think it should be a priority, but Apparently, I'm unhirable by the federal government. So I'm going to talk about next summer. My hours remain low. I may spend most of the summer in Utica, Pennsylvania, helping out around Ken Bryant's farm and campground, French Creek Farms. I'll tell you what would be real great is if we could organize a all summer long wrestling clinic, except for the holidays, Labor Day, Memorial Day, and 4th of July. The campground is usually full, but the rest of that, he doesn't have a huge following at the campground, so we can converge and take over that campground. Set up some larger circus-style tents with wrestling mats inside. So this is an invitation to any military personnel out there around the globe. If you would like to learn scholastic wrestling rules and tactics, I invite you to Utica, Pennsylvania next summer, starting in the early spring. Bring your unit, your military unit, to Utica, Pennsylvania. We'll set up tents. Hopefully we can find a military that will cooperate with this and donate some tents for lodging and the wrestling mats. And even a shower tent, because there's not shower facilities there. That can remain there for the entire season of camping. We'll break it down for the holidays, set it back up. And then just week by week, different couple units per week. I'll bring in wrestling coaches, we'll pay them. My father coached for over 20 years. He's a great wrestling coach for the basics. My high school wrestling coach, Aaron Bruckert, my friend in South Korea, his father was a wrestling coach. I'm sure he'll come out and do some clinics, especially if we compensate these retired wrestling coaches. And you can learn from the best. Western Pennsylvania Wrestling. We'll bring out actual PIAA officials to talk about the rules and regulations of scholastic wrestling, do examples of what you can and cannot do in scholastic wrestling that causes, there's many holds that are barred that cause injury, neck injuries, paralysis, so we shy away from those, and there are regulations against those. So an all summer long wrestling clinic for any military that wants to learn scholastic wrestling rules. And we can continue to do this. Hypothetically, the military unit pays for use of the campgrounds. We can work out and negotiate those deals. We'll sign long waivers for injury. But Ken has insurance for the campground, so we're covered that way. We might have to buy supplemental insurance for engaging in physical activity like this. I can figure all this out. You can supplement my income slightly, but I think the magnet business is going to take off. If it doesn't, this is kind of a fallback. But even if it does, I'll give you one summer. So contact me before the new year so we can plan this out. And maybe we can even shoot that film I pitched next winter solstice in Utica to start the weapons company. But right now we're focused on wrestling and wrestling rules, regulations, and tactics. Coaches will teach you different tactics. So it's an open invitation to just about every military in the world. I would say if you're actively engaged in a military conflict, we would shy away from inviting you into the United States. But if you're going to adopt this peace treaty and this form of modern warfare, we can discuss terms and negotiate whether you should be invited to the clinic. And also officers and military officials can discuss what they would want added or subtracted from the peace treaty that I've drafted while we're camping on beautiful French Creek in Utica, Pennsylvania. So that's my proposal, that's my proposition. I can get my bartender license, take the course, bartend up at the barn. The barn can be an open gathering point for the officers club, and during certain hours, and certain hours open for anyone to come shoot the shit. I'll bartend, and maybe we can get a band up there and I can practice singing, and we can take this show to military bases all around the globe. So I openly invite you to Utica, Pennsylvania. Contact me if you receive this video and this message, and next summer, starting in early spring, we'll converge on Utica and teach all of the militaries of the world how United States Scholastic Wrestling works. Thanks for watching. Join me next Wednesday when I challenge the next rank down. And I await your letter, your email, your phone call, your video call, accepting this challenge. We have a place, we have a time, we have a day. Don't be a coward. And I do want to amend what I said last week about China. So China is handling their Muslim situation by boarding them in institutions, in prison camps. It's not great, and I said that last week. If they're actively lobotomizing, sterilizing, or euthanizing that population, then that is a gross human rights violation. And I don't think, and I do not agree with that whatsoever. Until we have independent verification that that is happening, which my wife leaned towards, that euthanization is happening. When I told her I was contacted by a Chinese national, until we have verification, or if we have verification, then that is unacceptable. But if it's simply boarding a population because they don't know what to do with them, I don't think it's that much worse than United States policy of probably, and I cannot confirm this, spying on the Muslim population, the domestic Muslim population, in order to classify them as domestic terrorists. Now, I think it would be interesting if China did adopt that policy, to be the first country to say, look, you practice a Muslim religion, so we're going to wiretap all of your devices and computers, and you don't have to live in this prison camp. You can live semi-freely among the population, but we are definitely 100% spying on you. We're being open and transparent. That's the way it is, and you have to live like that if you want to live here in China. It'd be an interesting situation instead of just secretly getting warrants from secret courts to spy on Muslim population, which is probably what happens in the United States and a lot of other places. Anyway, I just want to be clear. Boarding the population of people because you fear their actions, because they went against your policies, is one thing. But actively lobotomizing, sterilizing, or euthanizing, the three Isings, are unacceptable. They're human rights violations, for sure, 100%. There's no doubt about it. So don't do that. If you're a foreign leader, please consider other options. talk to me. I'll inspect your weapons. I'm qualified to be a UN weapons inspector. I'll inspect your small arms, and my organization can independently verify whether you are doing these things. Don't let the United States media grab hold of a few fringe elements in your country and run with them and turn the whole population against your country. That's the way the media works. I'll independently verify it, and we'll come up with ways to do that. Thanks for watching. Join me next week.